Beyond the Hood, stories and strategies to fuel dealer growth.
Welcome everyone to Beyond the Hood with Tractor Zoom. My guest today is J.D. Marbury of Tennessee Tractor. Tennessee Tractor is a 10-store John Deere dealership in western Tennessee. Our conversation today revolves around exporting equipment, cotton pickers in particular, which it's a tough market right now for pickers. So I think there's a lot of value here, not just strategies and tips for moving cotton pickers into the global market, but also the importance of global awareness, even if you're centered in the middle of America in western Tennessee, and also the importance of deep personal connections and how they can make all the difference in the world. So let's waste no more time. Let's look beyond the hood with J.D. Marbury and Tennessee Tractor. J.D. Marbury, welcome to Beyond the Hood with Tractor Zoom. Good to have you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
So you're sitting down in Alamo, Tennessee. What's it like down there right now?
We're a little wet right now. There's some weather coming through last night, maybe this weekend, but cotton's planted. Most of the beans are planted. Corn, what little we have is in the ground. So West Tennessee looks good right
Okay,
now.
that's good. You've got, up here in Iowa, we are probably in the same boat as most corn got planted. We had a little bit of a dry spell before this last weekend and all the weather hit up here. But yeah, we're also a little on the wet side.
Yep. So that's better than being on the extreme dry side. The boys in West Texas, they having a hard time too.
Yep. We were just reminded of that last year up here in Iowa. I think there was like 3/4 of the state that was all red on the drought monitor map, and that is pretty much taken care of right now.
Good.
And it also makes for more full rivers, so you can actually run a boat up and down when you want to go fishing.
Yeah, there you go.
Good. Well, hey, I had a chance to meet you, it was about 2 months ago when I went down to Tennessee and we met you guys at your dealership. And when we were sitting down there around the table, I know we had started up a talk about all the different categories of equipment, and pickers came up. And then you started talking about the export market. And so I really want a lot of our conversation to revolve around cotton, which I know next to nothing about, and then also the export market. And I've imported things for businesses before, but I've never exported things, and certainly nothing as massive and high value as a cotton picker. And I know that's a crucial piece of that business. So I want a lot of our conversation to eventually get there. But before we even go there, how about you give me a little bit of background about yourself, you know, your story, where you started and how you got to where you're at Tennessee Tractor.
Okay. Yeah. My dad, he started working for a dealership back in the 80s, and then he moved from a dealership called Crockett Tractor to Cook Implement and then Cash Implement. Around 1998, Cook Implement decided that Mr. Roy Cook, he said, I want to sell out. And my dad said, I don't have any money. Let me get some partners and we'll buy it out. So in 98, Tennessee Tractor was started. And me and my two brothers, we've unofficially worked there all through middle school and high school. And then after college, we all kind of came back. We all entered into the AMS role. My older brother in 06, me in 08, and then a younger brother in 2011. So we all started kind of learning the roles in the service department, parts, and then precision ag, and now we all sell in some way, shape, or form, whether it's CAD, commercial, export, or just to the farmers in West Tennessee.
Good. So you were able to cut your teeth pretty early, and one of the best things about having kids is they're free labor up to a certain point. So,
Yep, he definitely used it. Pressure washing was one of our main jobs. It was no overhead for them, I guess.
That's good. Way to be resourceful for your dad. Okay, so Tennessee Tractor started in 1998, and did the dealership then, how many locations was it? Because now you guys are a 10-store location, is that right?
Yeah, so 98 was just the Alamo location, and then the very next year, 99, we bought the Trenton and the Jackson locations, and then I think it was, around 2004, we bought the Brownsville location, and then Somerville in 06, and then Ripley, Dyersburg, Parrish, Martin, and Union City. And then during all that, my my father and Jay Adamson, our GM, they came up with Valley dealership. Let's sell irrigation too, since we're selling John Deere. Let's sell some high quality irrigation stuff. In 2007, we were hoping to sell 5 pivots, just get our feet wet. And Justin Miller, our Valley CEO now, he ended up selling 17 the first year, and it just kind of blew up from there and became its own business. And with that, water well drilling business too. So it's
that's good.
It's been interesting and been fun to see all aspects of the ag.
Yeah. That's an interesting piece of any kind of business and any kind of startup where you dabble in a venture and you're not entirely sure where it might go. Some of them bust, but it's nice when you got the success stories of the investments that take off.
Yep, and it definitely the '07 cotton picker market. As the folks that are in the business know, there were 99 96s sitting on every dealership yard from here to Florida, and you couldn't give them away. You'd taken $50,000 off, and so that kind of helped offset that loss that year, and it was perfect time.
Okay, so that gets into my next question almost perfectly then, because I want to talk to you about diversification and kind of the importance of that. But let's start on how geography might dictate that for you guys. So, based where you're at in Western Tennessee, obviously cotton is a big piece of it. What other types of farmers are you supplying, and what kind of equipment does that mean that you're carrying on your lots?
We're very fortunate in West Tennessee to be able to have really good ground. We have rolling hills, we have flat bottom ground, creek bottoms, but cattle, hogs, Tyson chicken now, a little bit of milo, a little bit of rice, but mainly corn, beans, wheat, and cotton, and everything between the Tennessee and the Mississippi River and the Mississippi and Kentucky line. You can grow cotton up on the Kentucky line, but nobody does it. So it's
got to be good. And again, I don't know the corn market down there versus what it is in Iowa, but the basis has got to be good, right? I mean, if you've got Tyson down there, you've got the river, so your logistical costs for shipping stuff out, it's got to be good. Is the basis decent for those, corn growers?
Yes. Yeah. The corn and beans really is always good. Just because people don't like to go to Memphis, but we have Memphis there, the Mississippi River, Tennessee River, railroads, and then all the Tyson locations coming in. It's definitely helped. And then we have one large hog farmer. He co-ops his hogs out to other growers in Kentucky and Tennessee and all over. So they chew up a bulk of grain, whether it's milo or corn.
Good. So then back to the diversification piece, that's got to be good. Right. So, the corn market, it has been good right now, questionable versus, not. But on the cotton piece, you'd mentioned in '07 when essentially the cotton market tanked and you couldn't give away a picker. And again, I preface this whole thing with I know diddly squat about cotton, but I did look up on the softs market this morning and I saw early in 24, what was it? Cotton was going for about $1, a little over $1. And now this morning, I think it was sitting around 80 cents. That's a 20% drop in just a few months. What has that, I don't know, in terms of significance, seems like a pretty dang big drop.
It's really
okay.
big, yeah.
So how are farmers responding to that, and how do you think that's going to affect your picker sales?
I think, unfortunately, the norm of the markets and how they fluctuate without a given reason. Like the cotton market, it's the most political market in the history of the world. And like I said earlier, if there's a drought in West Texas, and right now it's dry in South Texas, and there's no crop coming out of that state, and the forecast is down, why is the market down? It's kind of the similar situation with CONAB and the USDA and see, there's a big discrepancy. I think 500 million bushels on corn is what CONAB said they would be short, and then 300 million bushels on soybeans, they would be short. So if CONAB says that they're going to be short, but the USDA hasn't changed their projections for that country, it's similar, it's political, and that's really the only answer I can give for it.
I know. It's challenging when you know that the market should move in a particular direction due to the fundamentals, and it's not. And not a lot you can do about it.
Well, I had one old farmer tell me one time, he said, son, I have started planting a cotton crop at the beginning of a year, and more times than not started planting and knew I wasn't going to make a profit. But things change throughout the year, yields, pricing, whatever.
Huh.
So it's just a guessing game.
Good definition of faith right there.
That's right.
So then on cotton pickers that you have, because I remember when we were sitting down in that conference room in Alamo, you had mentioned, moving cotton pickers overseas. And I think you got a ton of stories that I want to dive into here. So, I think it's probably crucial to the cotton picker market as much as it is anything. I mean, combines, I know it's a piece where once combines get down the washout cycle a little bit, there's a second home for them. It used to be in Ukraine, not so much right now. Brazil's always been an option. China, has been an option a little bit. But I think it's probably even more vital for the cotton picker market to help move machines through. So do you want to talk to me a little bit about, all the types of machines that you do export? And if it is primarily cotton pickers, like how did you get started on, launching that part of your business?
Let's see, I would probably have to put that on my dad too. In the 90s, he had some contacts in Greece and had some contacts in Mexico. And then one guy in Israel that sold a lot of equipment for us. And I just got interested in it. I was like, man, that's cool. Like, people see stuff, and back then it was, in Fastline, and they call the dealership number. And now it's just gotten easier. Now I have WhatsApp on your phone and text anybody in the country, this country, that country, whatever. And it's just gotten easier. He started it selling only 9965s, 9930s. Older cotton machines were the only thing we would export. And then after college, the first real deal I did was a guy named Sergio Isse from Argentina, and he ended up buying 10 9965s. They were, low dollar amount, but I really got into it after that and just started digging into agriculture around the world. Where are the cotton hot spots? What are they using? Is it a hand-picked zone, or are they using machinery? Are there a dealership anywhere around there? Is there used farm equipment? I just would Google, spend time on a Saturday when I wasn't selling lawnmowers, just looking through it. And fortunately, some people found us. They would see Tennessee Tractor tags on a cotton picker in Australia, and hey, man, I'm looking at some 9970s. Y'all have any more? Absolutely.
Huh. So they're just seeing it out on their fields, and then they, essentially from the brand of that tag right there, they're calling you.
Yeah. Whether it's on a used equipment lot, like same with some Chinese pickers. We have some 690s running around over there, and guys would see them and get our information from the buyers over there and send us a WhatsApp. And just word of mouth.
Mm-hmm. So I guess the first lesson learned here is make sure your brand is good, that you've got the stuff advertised, but even on the machine and from a contact information standpoint, WhatsApp, because I know from an international communication piece, like that is the standard now, is using WhatsApp.
Yep.
I'm jumping ahead on this particular question, but it seems pertinent now that communication barriers, language barriers, has that ever been an issue, or are those buyers just all fluent in English?
No, it's always different areas. You'll have harder barriers. Kazakhstan, that, not the country as a whole, but the buyers that have come to get cotton machinery, they can speak some broken English with broken Russian. But, we make it work. they'll talk in their phone, hand it to me, translate that way. But most of the Chinese, most of them, they're pretty fluent in English. The Spanish, the guys in Spain and Greece, they're all pretty fluent, I would say. There's some things that get lost in translation, but overall, we make it work.
Okay, so then, I mean, you've mentioned Kazakhstan, Argentina, China, Greece, all the Mediterranean countries there. So let's lay out the globe as a whole and start talking about some opportunities, within cotton and what, I don't know, the past 6 years have done to that. Because Kazakhstan's close to Russia, might be influenced by the Ukraine war, but Ukraine, obviously, that market, I'm assuming, is completely dried up, right?
Yeah, it's the Ukraine and Russo war. That's why there's so many combines sitting around the U.S. right now and Canada. You take auctioneers, Marbury Auction Company, DeWitt Auction Company, and some dealers, Hudson, Tennessee Tractor, whoever was exporting to Ukraine and Russia, and then you cut it off for 3 years. You got a lot of combines sitting around, but the one good thing that may come from it, I was reading some statistics on the Ukraine and Russo war with the Russians attacking the ag sector of Ukraine. As of March 2024, they have destroyed $6 billion worth of ag equipment, combines, sprayers, grassland equipment, and tillage and tractors. So they're going to need a lot of stuff whenever they decide to quit fighting on both sides.
Yeah, that should help take care of the supply if we can have the supply at that point in time that we can get to them.
Yeah, and it has really it's messed up shipping stuff to Kazakhstan, because used to we would go through Russia. Now we have to go around and a long train ride. But not only that, the inspection points, like a 40-day trip, what used to take a 99.76 cotton picker 40 days to get there. During the war, I guess, last fall, it was 90 days for some pickers to get over there.
Yeah, and I mean, sea is by far the cheapest route for transport. So you throw that on rail, it's quite a bit more expensive. And if you ever had to throw that on truck, you're 12xing that transportation cost there.
Yep. For sure.
Okay, so Ukraine's off the map for right now. Might be some built up demand into the future, but then I know when we had this conversation that South America is kind of a steady eddy for you guys, right?
Correct.
So you're Argentina and Brazil for cotton.
Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay, only for grain down there.
Okay,
though.
And then.
Combines and headers and things of that.
Okay,
like that.
Good. So I know we had a conversation about Australia, and then there's, gets into the quality issue there, because you had a great story about that. But before we get to that one, let's hit on kind of the big question mark right now, and that's China. A big question mark in many regards, because that market was really good for you guys a couple of years ago. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, I think my partner Seth, we send 20 to 30 pickers over there a year, and that helps move a lot of the used.
And so now, sitting in 2024, I mean, they bought zilch beans from us. How many pickers have they bought from you guys?
0.
So any explanation on why that is, or?
We have sent some corn heads over there. And the one contact that I'm still talking to about combines and other things is they're just flooded with cotton pickers. The Chinese machine that came out in 2021, the government made, I don't know how many of them, let's just say 1,000, and there's combine that with Deere's new machines going over there, and it really cuts into any used export needed. But the quality of the ZTR Chinese made machine isn't there, so
that again,
the guys are shooting. That market will be back.
Good. And I know, talking with other dealers, that the Chinese have made a concerted effort in the past years to really mechanize their farms. I mean, I think demographically they're going through where people used to farm an acre when they had tons of people in the countryside, and their rural population is just, I think decimated is probably even putting it too small. I mean, they're urbanizing, and then they're in a population decline, and so they've got more land acres that are going to have to be farmed by fewer people. So they're going to need machines. It's just a matter of them balancing out that supply of getting the right kind of machines, and hopefully the ones that continue to work year after year.
Yeah, hope so.
Hey, everybody. Andy here. I want to take a moment to ask you to subscribe and follow this podcast just so you don't miss out on all the latest updates and insights for your dealership. Now, let's get back to this conversation. Okay, so then last country I want to talk about, for now at least, is Australia. And so they've got a cotton market as well. I'm sure they've got some OEMs that are producing in, right inside the country, right? But it's still, how big of an export market is that to you?
Australia it's always, I would say, top 5, but they're either going to buy stuff or they're not. There's no one machine here, one machine there. It's either going to be 20 or nothing.
Okay. And so let's talk about that, the story that you told me about quality. And because this gets to a point that I want to hit on later. I know when I was importing food, quality, different countries have different standards, but Australia obviously has a high standard. And so what was it when you were, I think it was a picker. I don't know if it's a picker or a header, but yeah.
It was
fill me in on that
2
story.
pickers. Fortunately, it wasn't our dealership, but so Brazil, their standards are the biggest thing with cotton pickers. Clean the grease out of the heads before they go onto the boat. Not a big deal. Get all the grease out, tons of water, use your arms, blah, blah, blah. Then going to Australia to get into their regulations are a little bit more. The grease has to be out of the head. The machine has to be spotless. It has to be inspected. Phytosanitary certificate from the state where it's leaving. And on top of that, the wire loom has to be pulled off of it, around the wires, chassis harness, engine harness, the complete machine. All the wire loom has to be stripped. And if not, like that machine that we were talking about, it was a CP690. It gets to Australia. The Australian government said, nope, it's got too much dirt, too much trash, too many seeds, whatever, in the wire loom. So they send it to Bremerhaven, Germany, I think is where the drop-off point is. It sat there for 2 months until the dealer got somebody to strip the loom and send it back. So after 18 months at sea, it finally made it.
That had to be an expensive cruise.
Man, I was nervous for the guys, and it wasn't even our deal.
And I guess now, we were talking about that before, and I'm like, why would that wire loom matter? But if you're talking about pulling that out, I mean, I guess there's biological hazards maybe in the dirt, but then seeds too. If you've got some invasive seeds.
Pigweeds, they don't want all that. Yeah, they may already have them there everywhere.
Right. But I don't want them in my farm, so I picked enough of them. I don't want them. Okay, well, good lesson learned, though. I mean, that export quality assurance and making sure that thing is cleaned could save a lot of cost.
Yeah, it can be a nightmare. The sprayers, for instance, you gotta make sure before they get to the port they're clean. Can't have any, white chalk coming out of the end of the boom. Any of that stuff. Oh
yeah. I imagine certain chemicals and certain, whatever's in the lines.
Yeah, atrazine, all that. Yeah, it's fun. You just kind of learn as you go, I guess. That's the only way we've done it.
Okay. So you'd mentioned that, the sprayers going down to the port. And so you guys being really close to the Mississippi, do you, load things onto barges in the Mississippi and take it down, or do you truck it down? And I'm assuming ports, you're talking, where do you port out of? New Orleans? A few others?
Most of the time we're out of the Savannah, Galveston, Texas, Galveston, Texas, Savannah, Georgia, Jacksonville, and I just sent one for the first time out of Miami, 17760 going to Brazil.
Okay, and why those ports and not, why can't you just use any port in the world? I mean, are there certain requirements on any ports? Do they have to have certain types of machines to get these onto barges?
yeah, it's certain requirements, and you have different people that are experts at different things at different ports. I know that's a lot of
things.
Yeah, it's so you got the guys in Savannah. They can take a CP690 and load it onto a flat rack and pop it on the boat. If you take that same machine to Galveston, it's row. They're going to drive it down in the boat. You don't have a choice for a flat rack.
Okay. So that's good to know.
So different. And Long Beach, California, same way. I mean, it's all row. There's one, Savannah and Jacksonville are the only two ports that will put them on a flat rack. So if the guy doesn't mind his picker sitting out in the sun on the ocean, do it that way. It's cheaper.
Okay, that's good, because I know, at least when I was importing, that the biggest problem I could get into was when I assumed that this port was like that port, or like those regulations were like others, and then the surprises would catch it, especially when you've got something on a port or on a boat and other people's time is dependent on it. That's not a situation you want to be in.
No.
Okay, so then you've got these different ports. The buyers, you said, are, for the most part, reaching out to you guys, although, you've got some opportunities to market yourself and find other buyers out there. Are there any other partners in the industry that are helping you with this? Like, I used freight forwarders all the time. Do you guys have certain freight forwarders, and how did you find those logistic partners to help you shuttle all this stuff all over the place?
We do. We use a few certain ones. They're probably that's some of the best kept secrets in the industry.
I won't make you divulge any of your...
One of the guys, he was one of the first ones to help export pickers to Australia. He is an Australian guy. He just lives over here now. But we sent, I think it was 42 to Covey Station in Australia, and he oversaw all of that on his yard, stripping of the loom and doing all that. Just kind of calling around. That's how I found him. Just, hey, I need some help. Yeah. You know anybody?
Right. But I agree with you that it's those partners that are really great at their job, that they make your life a whole lot easier.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good. Well, yeah, I won't make you spout out his contact information. Not right now.
I got some more. I'll just if you need some help, I'll give you some C and D level guys.
Yeah. But, that'll work for me. So, okay, you've delivered the equipment, and it comes time for payment. Again, this is one of those things where I would assume like, they pay you and the check clears. Mm-hmm. Is it simple as that, or are there other, intermediaries that have to collect the money? How does that work, and when do they pay? Is it when it, arrives at their port and the inspection's good, or can they pay you, FOB when it leaves?
Yep. So that's one of the things I learned from my dad in 99 or 2000. Before the machine leaves, everything's got to be paid for.
Good.
Everything has to be paid for before it leaves Alamo, and then there are no worries. Like we've done it in the past where we've pay half when you get there, and it never works out. Or never did work out, so we're just not doing it. And we've tried MX Bank, like import export, getting credits, and that was a hassle when it was available. And it's wire transfer before it leaves, and you'll get your machine, and everything will be everything will be good.
That's good. It's a whole lot harder if the machine shows up there, and they're like, I don't know if I want to pay you because it's got a scratch or a dent or whatever. And then what are you going to do? Ship it all the way back? And you're in a tough spot.
Yep.
Okay. That's good advice. I was going to ask you a little bit about the legal agreements, issues that you've had on legality. Are there any that you have to worry about, or is that pretty easy?
No, most of the freight forwarders, they'll handle a lot of the legal paperwork. You got a pro forma invoice, commercial invoice if there's parts going with it. It's all pretty easy. Shipper's letter of instruction. You got to fill out a few forms, but most of the legal side of it and the insurance, after you get paid, you drop it off, and the port handles the rest of it. That's what you pay them for. The freight forwarder.
Good. Again, getting back to those good partners. So there's still a few things that you kind of have to have your ducks in a row on, right? I mean, the freight forwarder is going to handle hopefully a good portion of this. Do you use any kind of systems to keep track of all this? I mean, or is it manageable enough to have maybe a spreadsheet and just kind of know where you're at in the process?
Yeah, it's manageable enough that we just use Excel spreadsheets for all of the forms, and the two guys that work with me, I just kind of give them a little bit. Like TJ, he'll handle all the paperwork for South America. Seth handles all of it for China, and then I handle everything else.
Okay.
So it's easy, and it's done per case. Like you may not need everything for something going to Spain, but you may need triple the amount paperwork going to Brazil.
Okay. And certainly worth the effort, especially when we're talking about moving some of these pickers off the lots right now.
Absolutely.
So, talking about the pickers, moving them off the lots right now, I think it's not unique to pickers right now, but they are an issue across the country of supply building up a little bit. Where do you see the picker market going here in the next year? Because we're sitting about halfway through, not quite, of 2024 right now. It's not great right now. So do you anticipate things picking up, or?
No, I'm gonna say that 24 and 25 will be a down year for cotton machines. Hopefully 26, we'll cycle out. Everybody will quit fighting and get some money back in the cotton and keep it at $1. That would keep it steady. But dropping down to pre-Civil War prices, that don't work.
That's no bueno. And so a good case for world peace here is that we can also continue to move some pickers.
Yeah, quit fighting. Let's everybody make some money and just sell.
Good. Well, that sounds like a word of wisdom. I've got just a couple more questions for you, though, to build off your word of wisdom already. Advice to your younger self. I mean, you've done a lot of things through your career so far. You've learned a lot along the way. But is there anything that you've learned now that you're like, man, back when you're starting, back when your dad bought it in 98, or even kind of when you came on in 08, that you wish you would have known then that you do know now?
I wish when I first started doing this that I traveled more to those countries before I had a wife and 3 kids. And it's harder to get away, but I would have really liked to go to Western China, Xinjiang, and meet several of the farmers, go to Spain in October, see their cotton harvest and drink some wine, party with them for a while. Greece, Turkey, Brazil, all over South America. I would take a month, at least once a month or every 2 months, go and travel and make contacts. But I found that putting your face in front of somebody and talking to them face to face, that's how you make a long-lasting contact.
Yes, I can second that. Even when I have traveled, my biggest regret afterwards is I should have taken more time to, again, for those exact scenarios, to actually go spend time with the people that you're there with. But that is fantastic advice.
Yep.
Good. And not just for people that are exporting. I think for anybody doing business, get in front, make those personal relationships. It makes a world of difference.
Absolutely, it does.
Okay. So then one last piece for you. And I just dropped this on you right before we started this recording. But looking now beyond the hood, fitting with the theme of the podcast, 1, 3, 5 years out, are there any challenges or opportunities facing your dealership or the entire dealership industry that you think, that you're excited about, or maybe at least you're aware of and trying to prep for?
I would say the the opportunity for, there's an opportunity for growth of equipment sales all over the world. Not in the U.S. right now, but in 5 years, what equipment we ship out and flush out in the next 5 years, it's going to tell the tale on dealership consolidation, like combines, cotton pickers. They break dealers not all the time, but in the 2000s they did, and I see more dealership consolidation coming in the next 5 to 6 years, and more if things don't start moving faster. Mm-hmm. The interest rate right now is hurting all the dealers. You pay $10,000 plus a day in interest, and it hurts.
Yeah, that adds up real fast.
Yep. And that's why you see dealers dumping 30 or 40 combines at a time now. But I think we're in the down. Obviously, we're in the down cycle. 5 years, we'll be back on top again.
Good. That is a fantastic way to end. Let's keep it on that positive note. But I enjoyed this conversation. JD, thank you for hopping on Beyond the Hood. I really appreciate this.
Absolutely, Andy. I appreciate you having me.
Okay,
buddy.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you everybody for joining us for Beyond the Hood. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel if you're looking for more conversations with great dealers across the country that are sharing stories and strategies to fuel their dealership growth. Thank you, and until next time, take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of Beyond the Hood with TractorZoom and our conversation with JD Marbury of Tennessee Tractor. If you're interested in learning more about how TractorZoom is helping their dealers manage their inventory or also connect their CRM systems with their inventory and their business systems, make sure you reach out to us at TractorZoomPro.com, or you can find our contact information in the show notes. I look forward to having you join us for the next conversation Beyond the Hood with TractorZoom. Take care.